We'll be back on Monday. Bryant Dacus and Zach Boyd in for John Harden today. This is Happy Hour, and we'll be with you for the next 2 hours. Zach, a real trooper. I gave you the TYFYS award yesterday. You're back today. Another long day for you. How we feeling on a Friday around lunchtime?
The weekend couldn't get fast enough.
I feel you on that. I second that. It has been a long week. For a long couple of weeks. It really has been the 2-week stretch where everyone has been on vacation, it seems like, and everyone has been out for whatever reason, good reasons. So a lot of work has been done up here, but it's about to be back to normal. John Harden will be back on Monday. He's kind of the last of that crusade of guys that went on vacation. So hopefully things will kind of get back to normal on Monday. But we do have a big show today. J-Ham will join us here in the next segment at 94 Feet Historian on Twitter. He'll join us to talk some basketball. I got to get to a lot with him with NBA preseason. And the Grizzlies had another preseason game last night. So a lot of the G League guys in that game last night. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll definitely get to it here in about 30 minutes with Jay. At 12 o'clock, Lee Sterling from Paramount Sports will join us. He's got some great games this weekend. He's going to give out some plays. He's also going to have his play of the week like he always does, his game of the week. Coming up, we'll talk to him at noon, give you some picks, and give you some more information on how you can get in touch with Lee Sterling. And then at 12:30, T-Money and Uncle Brasky, they'll be here with us. We'll do some more gambling with them, as we always do. Jay Morgan calls it the best segment of the week. I second that, and that'll pretty much get us to the weekend. But, Zach, before we get into really anything sports-related, did you see the news yesterday that came out? Beale Street Music Festival is going to be canceled for 2024.
Yeah, I did.
Are you a Beale Street Music Fest guy?
I support it.
Oh.
Around that around that time of the year, I'm always super busy.
Sure.
So, when they announce the lineups, I kind of go through and look at the lineups
who do I want to go see, and then kind of go from there.
Yeah, who's the top headliner of the music festival? Yeah, it's really unfortunate. I know a report came out like a couple weeks before this announcement happened. That they lost a lot of revenue from the last, I think the last
couple of
festivals.
Yeah.
So, it's really unfortunate. It really is because the scene down on at Tom Lee Park, right next to the river, when the sun is setting and everybody's starting to file their way in, it's. It's really a big party down by the river, so it's just unfortunate.
Yeah, it really is, and I know, like you said, the Commercial Appeal did a great job kind of covering this yesterday. They had, I think, 3 or 4 stories on this, because it really is a big deal. I mean, this is a massive music festival. I think they said it's been around since the late 70s is really when it started. And so it's a big deal, and it's something that a lot of Memphians look forward to every single year. And they talked about, obviously, the loss in revenue. They said the attendance has been down from what it used to be, especially pre-COVID. And then they also said, I don't know if you remember the reports after last year's music festival, but I think over $1 million in damages to Tom Lee Park, and obviously at Tom Lee Park that's just been renovated, that they had to pay to get fixed after that festival. So kind of a big loss there on their part. But I'm hoping there's an idea, a thought that maybe you take a little bit of a hiatus, maybe a year, 2-year hiatus, and then you can come back. Now after that, do people really feel the same way about it if it hasn't been here for a year or 2 years? I know I have friends that go every single year. No matter who's playing, they go. I have some friends that go all 3 days. I have some people that just make sure that they're there for 1 day during the music festival. It has no matter who's performing, they're going to go and just enjoy Music Fest. And so for those people, if it's not here for a year, for 2 years, are those people still inclined to want to go when it comes back? I've also heard the idea that maybe you could find a way to mesh the barbecue contest with Music Fest and kind of have both going at the same time and try to marry those two together, because obviously I think they're a weekend, 2 weekends apart from each other, and so they're around the same time. Yeah. Maybe you could just have them all at the same time. I know they said this was in the story that I read at the Commercial Appeal yesterday, but they said that in years past, music has been a pretty big component at Music Fest. They usually have a couple of people performing, and that maybe you could just marry the two of them and make it like the Beale Street Barbecue Contest and Music Festival. I don't know. That's kind of a mouthful. We'll workshop the name if that actually happens.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting to see how they, I guess, come back from this or try to make this more appealing in a way.
Yeah, no, it's sad. It's really sad though.
It is. You know, like I said, I'm more hyped that the artists are coming to Memphis than it is like the people showing up.
Sure.
Because the artists are actually taking the time out to come and flying into the Memphis area.
And that's another thing they said is that artists, the price to get artists to come here has been it's been more, and they're having to spend more money to get artists. And I think the Commercial Appeal story even kind of pointed to the last maybe 2 music festivals and said, well, if you look, it always seems to be there's like a big time headliner, but then after that, the lineup's just kind of and that's probably part of it, is that they have a budget of we can spend this much money on artists, and they go out and say, okay, well, who's an artist that has performed here in the past couple of years that's like a really big name. Meg Thee Stallion was here a couple years ago. Okay, well, her price has gone up 20%. Well, now if we have to pay, we want to have her. We want to have the headliner. Let's get her, and then kind of on the back end, instead of getting this person, we'll spend less money and get this person. Right. And so, who knows what happens? I know those are all real concerns and real things, especially when you're talking money. But I just don't know. And I haven't been in a couple years. I went in high school a couple times. I went in college a couple times, but I haven't been since COVID. When they canceled it in COVID, I haven't gone. I think they've had 2 since then. I didn't go to either. One was at Simmons Bank, or Liberty Park, I guess you would call it. And then the other one was back downtown after the renovation. So sad. Hopefully it can come back. But certainly not for 2024. In 2025 is certainly in the air. Zach, how much of the Thursday night football game were you able to watch last night?
None.
Do you not have Prime, or you just didn't want to watch the game?
No, I have Prime. I just didn't want to watch it.
I get that. No, I mean, Broncos versus Chiefs, what does that really do for you?
Absolutely nothing.
It doesn't do much. I watched a lot of it. I saw – so my thing is I usually at nights I'll have multiple games going at the same time. Like I'll watch several games at the same time. So I don't listen to any of the broadcast. Maybe whatever game is on my main screen on the television, I'll listen to that. But usually I'm not listening to the commentators. But I saw the reports yesterday that they were going to, Prime said they were going to quote unquote have fun with Taylor Swift being in attendance. So I don't know how that went. I saw them flash up to her a couple of times, but I really didn't care that Taylor Swift was in attendance or whatever fun they were planning to have with her in attendance. But the Chiefs did get a win, 19-8. They covered. That spread was 10.5, so they got there by the skin of their teeth. It didn't look like they were going to cover because it was all Chiefs. I mean, and it was really close early. I thought the Broncos did a really good job, especially early in the game, against this high-powered Chiefs offense. It was 3-0 after one quarter. It was 13-0 at halftime. I think by halftime, Patrick Mahomes had already thrown an interception. Especially in that first quarter, Denver's defense looked pretty good. But then, in that second quarter, they give up 10 points. The third quarter, they give up another field goal. And then in the fourth quarter, the Broncos come down and score and make it a 13-8 or 13-6 game, and then they go for 2, make it 13-8. And I know a lot of my friends were texting me, and I saw a lot of people on Twitter going, "Are you kidding me? Are the Chiefs really not going to cover tonight against the Broncos?" But then they drove down and were able to kick another field goal to cover that spread. So 19-8. I don't think it was by any means the Chiefs' best showing of the season. I don't even know if we've seen the Chiefs' best showing this season. But a win's a win, and for the Broncos, I mean, did anybody in Denver think they would start 1-5 this year?
Yes.
Really? You think so?
I mean, they probably had optimism because they think that Sean
Payton comes in. And I think there's a lot of optimism. And Russ, I mean, him saying, "Oh, we're gonna get Russ back right." I mean,
yeah, but it's like, nah, like you still got the same cast of characters in Denver.
I brought this up yesterday afternoon to Brett, and I want to get your thoughts on it because I started thinking about it, and I was like, this is kind of interesting. So when Sean Payton came in, it was pretty much how every coach is when they first get hired. It was, sky's the limit. We're back, baby. We're going to take Denver to a championship. Russ looks awesome. We're going to get him right. What the Russ y'all saw last year is not the real Russ. We're going to get him back to normal this year. Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, preseason optimism.
Hope springs eternal, all of that jazz. And then I think he got around that team, got around training camp, started watching this team in practice, and said, oh boy, this team is not good. This team has some issues.
Yes.
And that is when he went out there and started calling Nathaniel Hackett out. Saying Nathaniel Hackett and it was so bad that it's going to take us some time to really get that stink off our team. And everyone, because I remember when that happened, everybody was like, it seems really weird for him to just like randomly call out Nate Hackett, like especially this late. Like, it's just weird. So I think that was Sean Payton going, oh man, I got to do something or people are going to blame me for this team being terrible this year. And I can't have them blaming me. So I'm going to go out and blame Nate Hackett for how bad he was and blame all of this on him. And this is his fault. It's going to take us weeks, if not a year, to really turn this around so that at the end of the season or after 6 weeks, when we're sitting here 1-5, instead of saying, man, Sean Payton might not have it anymore. Sean Payton, this team's bad. I thought Sean Payton was going to be able to turn around. People go, he wasn't lying. Nathaniel Hackett was bad. I mean, look how long it's taken a coach like Sean Payton to turn this around. So I think smart thinking by Sean Payton.
I guess, but the team was already bad. That's the thing.
They were already bad.
It was already bad.
I don't think Sean Payton knew what he got himself into.
He thought having a Super Bowl winning quarterback in Russ and just a handful of the weapons, all he had to do, it made it seem like all he had to do was just come in and just make some slight adjustments, and then it's like it turns from 5 wins into 10 wins. But it's like, nah, like it's more than that.
No.
It's more than that. Like Russ got his whole people, like all his people at the compound over in Denver. So it's
what a story that was. Holy cow.
My goodness, man. I get it. I get being a diva. I get having an ego. But you got to have an entire posse inside of the training facility.
Half the building, the coach's building, is full of his people. I mean, you're walking around, you don't know if it's a coach or an assistant or if it's one of Russ's people. I mean, they all have their own offices and stuff. It's crazy.
And then what was really telling was I don't know if you caught the win of Marshawn Lynch and Shannon Sharp. They were talking on Club Shay Shay.
Oh yeah.
And how Marshawn was like saying, "Yo,
Zach.
I like him, but he don't talk to us. He don't talk to me." So it's
Zach. Man. Oh, Zach. So I actually, because this really seems like one of the first times in a while that we have seen like publicly a player be traded to a different team, and then it just seems like that entire fan base, players he played with, coaches are like, yeah, we didn't really like that guy. And it really seems like this is the first time we're seeing that. And because, Zach, I'm wearing for those watching on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, I am wearing my Seattle Kraken hat.
Yeah.
And so I listen to local Seattle radio. And sometimes, not all the time. I'm not like this.
You just randomly listen to Seattle radio.
I have one show that I really like over there. It's the morning show in Seattle, and I will listen to I won't listen to it live most times, but I'll listen to their podcast like a lot of nights. Like after I leave here, I'm driving home or something like that. I'll be like, wonder what they're talking about in Seattle.
Yeah.
And I'll listen to what they're talking about. And so obviously a lot of Seahawks talk up there, and they are like taking a victory lap in Seattle on Russ. They're like, oh man, we got rid of this guy in just the nick of time. And they have had like Richard Sherman on. They've had like other former players that have come on and been like, yeah, like Russ was like you could not be in the same room with Russ. Like it was miserable playing with him. And I'm like, when is the last time, especially a starting quarterback that is like as highly regarded as Russell Wilson, have you had former players coming out and being like, yeah, this guy was awful. Like, we did not like this guy. And mainly, I should say, mainly defensive guys. Like, it seems like the offensive guys that he played with seemed to like him, but the defensive guys hated him.
No. And it's the same way again. Throwing it back to Marshawn again, because he mentioned that as well. He said that all the defensive guys like they didn't like him.
Yeah,
they were trying to they try to I guess they had something in their within their culture where if we need to we go to a room,
right,
try to take some accountability,
sure,
talk it out like grown men. Mm-hmm. And they wanted to talk to Russ in the room, and Pete Carroll said, "Nah, like if you need to talk to him, talk to me, and I'll go talk to him." It was like wait a minute, so, what are we doing here?
So on this show in Seattle, they have KJ Wright, who is from Olive Branch and played for a really long time with Seattle. I believe he still lives in Seattle and comes back here every once in a while. I think Greg and Eli had him on the show a couple months ago when he was doing like some charity thing here in Olive Branch or the Memphis area. But they have KJ Wright on every single week. They do like an hour-long segment with KJ where they just talk Seahawks football and get his thoughts on the team. So they had him and Richard Sherman on one day together. And they were like, so tell us about being with Russ and like playing with Russ. And Richard Sherman literally said, there were times at practice where we would be going through like team stuff and Russ would throw like 3 interceptions and the defense would have like on the day like 3 interceptions, a forced fumble, and 6 missed tackles for the day. And that after practice, Pete Carroll would rip the defense a new one. How could y'all miss 6 tackles? I mean, we got to be better than that. You think we can win games when y'all tackle them like that? Yada, yada, yada. Just giving it to them. I mean, just killing them. And that on the other side, Russ, he would be like, hey, Russ, good job today. Yeah, just we'll be better tomorrow. And just good job today. And they'd be like, what? He threw 3 interceptions against the scout team. What do you mean good job? And that it was just stuff like that. Like nobody could talk negative to Russ. Nobody could be critical. Nobody could come up to him in the locker room and talk to him. Like it was just a very, very weird. And it's funny because all of this is coming out now after he left Seattle. When the whole time he was in Seattle, everyone was like, Russ Wilson. Good dude. I mean, really good guy. Good quarterback. Seems like a good guy. Everybody loves him. The whole city loves him. All of that stuff.
He married Sierra.
Well, I mean, I guess if you're a future fan, you're maybe not a fan of Russ. But the second he leaves, everyone's like, yeah, that guy was not fun to play with.
Yo.
Offensively, people love him, it seems. I mean, it seems like the receivers. I remember that first game last year when Denver, I guess, went to Seattle, and it was Russ's first game. I mean, like Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, like all those guys were like going up and like dapping him up, hugging him, talking to him. I think all those guys were like at his wedding and stuff, and like I think he had like a birthday or something recently. They were all there, but like none of those defensive guys were there. And Richard Sherman was there, KJ Wright was there. I mean, all of these old, the guys from those Seattle defenses we remember were all there, and they were all just like, no, we're not talking to Russ. We don't mess with Russ like that. So, crazy. But I'll give him credit, though. He is doing everything he can for the Broncos right now. It is not his fault that they are this bad. It is not. It's not his fault. I can't blame him.
Are we sure about that?
I can't blame him.
Are we sure about that?
I can't blame him. I can't blame him. He's running for his life back there. His offensive line is bad.
Just like the one in Seattle.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Maybe you're right. I don't know. I don't know why I don't want to blame Russ, but I was watching last night's game. I was watching that game. What did he finish off with last night?
I mean, listen, like we sit and criticize Dak for everything that goes wrong. So why can't we do the same thing for us?
I think, especially my criticism of Dak is probably fueled more of fandom than of anything. Russ was awful last night.
Yes,
he was bad last night. 95 yards, 13 for 22, 95 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. He was sacked 4 times. His QBR, Zach, his QBR
the -2.
was 10.1.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's basically -2. I mean, if you want to, that's unbelievable. But, I mean, this team's just bad. This team is so bad. And maybe I don't want to blame Russ because I think that maybe if he had better weapons around him and if he had a better offensive line, he wouldn't be this bad. Because I see him, I watch these games and I see him do things that I'm like, that's Russ. Like, that's prime Russ. I remember last week, I guess it was, when they were playing the Jets, he like had this like 25-yard scramble to like keep them in the game or something. I was like, that's prime Russ right there. But then, there's the interceptions and there's, him just holding the ball too long in the pocket and getting sacked. I mean, so I don't know. Maybe it's my like growing up watching these Seattle teams and being like, yeah, Russ is good. Let Russ cook. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, no, I was on the let Russ cook bandwagon for a minute, but then once
he's my fantasy
play kind of started going
years.
south, I was like,
maybe a good time to hop off and not let Russ cook. But speaking of Seattle, I know we got to get to a break and talk to J-Ham. Game day in Seattle, Washington this weekend for Washington versus Oregon. We'll talk a lot more college football later, but right now we've got TV in here and we've got it on ESPN, and Pat McAfee is talking. He's live in Seattle. He's in the stadium talking. Just a beautiful scene. I mean, Seattle, a beautiful city, and it looks beautiful. But it's gonna be early tomorrow for game day. I mean, you talk about 8 a.m. airtime. That's 6 a.m. Seattle time. So we were talking yesterday about for Lee Corso and his age and his health. You're talking first time he kind of makes an appearance is like 5 a.m. or would be 5 a.m. Seattle time because he goes about an hour before they start the show. So you're thinking wake up call for Lee Corso tomorrow morning is probably like 2:30 or 3 in the morning.
Because game day, what is about 2 hours?
3
hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so just have Lee ready for
maybe have him
8
for
o'clock
like
hour.
maybe have him for like the last 2 hours or the last
hour
hour
or the last
like
hour
that.
or whatever.
Because at this point, I love Lee Corso. We're only watching him for the picks. We're only watching him for his headgear.
Not so fast,
Exactly.
My friend.
That's the only reason they still have him there. I think. I mean, I feel bad for him. His age is currently a factor. His health is currently a factor. But the only reason they're still having him on game day is because the headgear is so iconic. So it should be a fun morning tomorrow. We'll definitely talk some more college football a little bit later in the show. But we got to get to a break. When we come back, we'll talk basketball with J-Ham.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does with your favorite mixer. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff. Just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Jenkins Floors and More in Hernando is growing. This family business started up 5 years ago with just one pallet, and now they have hundreds. Tim, the owner, gets calls from people everywhere and can sometimes save them up to 50% on wood flooring, carpet, tile, and vinyl. Jenkins Floors and More helps with renovations, home building, and installation. Jenkins Floors and More, number 6 East Commerce Street in Hernando. Also in Little Rock and coming soon to Tennessee. Call 662-469-9350 for more information.
All 36-month lease, $650 acquisition fee, Forte PE $678, $6055, MSRP $21,610, Nero P5017859, MSRP $41,090, EV6 P5017859, MSRP $49,687. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/31/23 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Hey, Jeff Allen, the weather's getting cooler, but the deals keep on getting hotter at Gossett Kia South. What you got going on, Jeff?
Only the best deals you'll find on your new Kia, Randy. I've got 41 MPG highway in a new 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $229 a month, $29.99 do-it signing. I've got EV action with a 2023 Nero EV Win SUV, 253 miles of EPA estimated range, $269 a month, $49.99 do-it signing. And a 2023 Kia EV6 Win, 134 city, 101 highway MPGE, $399 a month, $49.99 do-it signing. All 36-month lease.
Plus a free charger with your EV purchase and Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know: Binswanger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 145 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Binswanger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Binswanger Glass in Midtown at 340 South Hollywood, across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit binswingerglass.com. Binswanger Glass.
Join us for the Memphis Police Department Hiring Expo, Saturday, October 21st, 2023, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 170 North Main Street downtown. We'll be taking applications and interviewing candidates on site. Salary starting at $54,611, increasing to $60,713 after probation. Benefits include a $15,000 sign-on bonus, up to $10,000 relocation assistance. For more information or details, visit joinmpd.com.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. This hour is brought to you by Scooters Plus on Summer Avenue. Here once again is Johnny Radio.
Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes gravity. Choke. He's so mad, but he won't give up. Daddies, he know he won't have it. He knows his whole back to these ropes. It don't matter. He's dope. He knows that, but he's
welcome into Happy Hour. No John today. He'll be back on Monday to start the week. We're having trouble getting with Jay, so it doesn't look like we'll have him today. That's okay. We'll catch back up with him next Friday when we'll be getting ready for the regular season, because by next Friday, that next Tuesday, I guess, would be opening night in the NBA. So it's quickly approaching, and we'll be talking regular season NBA before we know it. We did have a text message, and I having trouble getting to the text line on this computer. Zach, if you are able to, can you read the text message we got from Brad a second ago?
Yeah, so Brad sent a text in to us. He said, saw something the other day. He, as in Russell Wilson, was the one that made the call in the Super Bowl that led to the interception instead of running with Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, it's a great text, because I saw the same thing. I think it might have been Richard Sherman that said that. I know Richard Sherman, very vocal on Russell Wilson and what he thinks about him. It might have also been Marshawn Lynch, but I think it was Richard Sherman who said that when they went for that play, that basically they wanted to run the ball, and that Russ was basically like, no, let's throw it. And that maybe it was like an audible at the line of scrimmage, and he called an audible and went to pass it, and then that's what led to the interception. So no, I mean it does not sound like what we made of Russell Wilson's time in Seattle is actually what people inside the organization thought of Russell Wilson's time in the organization. But Brad, thanks so much for the text because that was a really good one. I should say before we get into some, we will talk some basketball during this segment. But before we get there, let me tell you about this weekend, what we've got going on here on this station. Ole Miss is off tomorrow. They're off week this week, so no Ole Miss football tomorrow, but on Sunday we've got you covered with NFL action. Colts at Jaguars at noon, Patriots at Raiders at 3 p.m., Giants at Bills at 7 p.m., and then on Monday, I know we'll talk to you before then, but that Cowboys-Chargers primetime game will also be right here on this station. So we've got you covered on Sunday for NFL action. Zach, how much of the Grizzlies were you able to catch last night?
I caught a handful of the game.
Caught a little bit of it. I looked like from what I was able to see, a lot of the reserves playing the other night. I think the starting line, I shouldn't say a lot of the reserves, a lot of the young guys playing over there last night. Okay, reserves.
Handful, small, yes, like most of the reserves.
Most of the reserves were playing. The starting lineup, Santi Aldama, Zaire Williams, David Roddy, Steven Adams, and Jacob Gilyard. And Santi Aldama, I mean, we've been talking about him now for over a year. I mean, we know what Santi can do, but a really good game for him last night. 22 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists for him. And Zaire had 12 points, 3 rebounds. And then off the bench, Gigi Jackson, kind of a slow start for Gigi last night, but really, got cooking. 24 points for him, 9 for 23 from the field. That kind of goes back to that kind of slow start for him, but 24 points in 26 minutes, pretty good for GG. And then Vince Williams, I saw a lot of people talking about Vince and what he did last night. 12 points for him in 26 minutes of action. For GG, I know there's been a lot of talk about him. Obviously, I would say really one of the more intriguing draft picks out of last year's draft, just because of the fact this was a kid that before reclassifying was the number 1 player in the country coming out of high school. Goes to South Carolina. I think a lot of people mock draft-wise had him going high in the draft, maybe lottery. I can't remember.
Like talent top 5.
Very, very talented. And a lot of people thought that he would be a hit at South Carolina and was supposed to originally go to North Carolina, flipped his commitment, went to South Carolina. And so I know a lot of people were excited about what he could do. A very up and down year at South Carolina. There were flashes where you saw and you were like, this guy can play. This guy's got the goods. There were other times where you were sitting there going, Gigi, what are you doing? There was the whole incident where I guess he got into it with his coach and some of his teammates and then went on Instagram Live and kind of called his team out. And so then when the draft rolls around, a lot of people don't want to touch him, and he falls all the way to the second round. So this is a guy that at one point was the number 1 player in the country, at one point was considered a lottery pick, and now has dropped to you in the mid-second round of the NBA draft. So he'll spend a lot of year, probably the entire year, I would think, in the G League. But, I mean, what do you think future-wise? I mean, you talk about all of that talent that is seemingly there, that potential. What do you think we see out of GG in 2 to 3 years?
Listen, I'm starting to make the flag start pum-pumming GG's name around here in a few minutes, because I think, man, like what we saw yesterday with GG is exactly what this team is missing. Yeah. It's just that guy that can play on the wing, who fits the 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", can dribble, can create, can self-create for himself, and can make buckets. Yeah, because I think that's the only thing that is really missing on this team is that type of guy. Now we'll see. We will see as GG progress into his career here. I know he's going to be here for the next 2 years, and then he probably got to get re-upped here after next season after next. But I mean, if he starts to progress to the point where halfway through the season, midway or towards the back end of the season, where he's just dominating the G League, then it's like, either we're really holding him out for next season, or we might just bring him up to the main squad. Yeah, and I mean, you talk about this G League team. I know for the past couple of years, ever since the Memphis Hustle have been a thing,
we've been talking about them, maybe not as much as I don't think anybody talks about their G League team, but we've been kind of hyping them up. Look at some of these guys down there. This year's team.
Oh, there's gonna be a problem.
I mean, this could be a fun team to watch. A team that you are, really wanting to go down to South Haven and watch this team play. Have you ever been to a Hustle game?
I have.
How many?
Can't recall.
Like a handful, like more than 10?
I think more than 10.
Really?
Yeah.
But
it's been in the past, though. I haven't been to one recently.
Right. Did you go to one last year?
No, I didn't.
Okay. I didn't go to one last year. I think I've only been to like one G League game. They're kind of hard to get to. A lot of them are on the weeknights.
Really?
They're like 6. Well, for me at least, I work till I'm up here till 6 or 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
I can't really get down there for a lot of these games, but I certainly am going to go to a couple games this year and see this team because they're going to be a lot of fun. But for Gigi, and I guess for preseason in general, watching that first game, especially when he first got in, he would run to the corner and he would just kind of sit in the corner and he would kind of roam around the corner. And I was like, come on, Gigi, do something. Come on, let's get involved. Let's do something. And then after the game, I guess maybe Taylor Jenkins was asked about it. Maybe they talked to Gigi about it and they were like, what was this game like? What was it? And he specifically said, they want me to get to the corner. They want me taking threes. They want me kind of working through this and trying to get more comfortable in this role. So, I mean, it really does seem like he's certainly going to start the year in the G League. And he will certainly play most, if not all, the year in the G League. But it sounds like they're trying to kind of form a role for G.G. Jackson that they want him to show in preseason and want him to work on. Now, will he be able to do more in the G League and kind of be more, have more freedom playing in the G League? Yes, absolutely. But I do think there is something they see in GG that can maybe help a team this year or next year in Memphis, not in South Haven, but in Memphis.
Yeah. And athleticism-wise, I think that's the biggest thing with this team. Athleticism-wise,
I mean, it's athletic.
It's
athletic.
Like you can tell like when he gets the ball in his hands, it's just a different feel to it.
Yep.
So hopefully, I hope that his development goes really well. I really don't want him to rush.
No, not at all.
Into this, like I don't want him to rush. I want him to take his time to get to ramp up to that point.
Is the hard part about players that reclassify and don't get it immediately. Is you start hearing the negative criticism. We've seen it with Amani Bates, which kind of different. He's older, only by a year, but. With Gigi last year, I mean, this is a kid that was very highly regarded, gets to Southern Miss, and it doesn't click immediately. And we saw that with Amani here in Memphis. It didn't click immediately. And so you start seeing that negative attention in the stories written about he's not playing well. You start falling in these mock drafts and stuff like that. And as much as we want to sit here and say, well, you just can't look at all of that. You can't look at social media. You can't look at the mock drafts. You gonna tell a 17-year-old kid, an 18-year-old kid, not to look at social media? That's not gonna work. I mean, that's just not how it. That's not how it goes. And so these kids are seeing that. These guys are seeing that. And so for Gigi and for Amani, for that matter, these guys that seemingly have the talent there. I mean, they are talented, both talented players. But just it's been a weird road for them, and especially for Amani, certainly different from Gigi. But for Gigi, I don't think he saw his career going from college to a second-round pick into the G League. And for that could be a little depressing, and that could kind of hurt a little bit. And so he's learning how to be a professional, and I think this group of guys is a good group of guys to be around when you're in that position, because you look around, you've got Desmond Bain, that was a late first-round pick. You've got Santi Aldama, that was a late first-round pick. You've got these guys that were projected to be second-round guys that have faced that adversity and are now, really productive players for the Grizzlies. You've got these high-end stars like Jaren and Ja that you can kind of look to. You've got a wily vet in Steven Adams. I mean, there's a lot of really good pieces to learn from and learn how to be a professional from the guys that you've got on the Grizzlies.
Yeah, and man, like it would just put it. Man, I can't wait for this kid to put it all together.
Yeah.
Cause think about it. If Zaire continues to project, if he claims that he put in the work this offseason, and he shows that this upcoming season, then you got Gigi coming in like on the back end, 2 athletic forwards, 6'10", 6'8". Gigi could grow another 2 inches when he's only
19 years old. I mean,
so you're talking about 6'9", 6'10" wing forwards.
Yeah.
Like as your starting for you and as a reserve. I'm really excited to see what they can do.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
Yeah, and we've seen this coaching staff and this developmental staff. We've seen what they've been able to do with guys and developing them and turning them into the players they are and kind of finding that potential and helping those guys reach it with guys like Desmond Bain, guys with Santi. You're already seeing it play out. Zaire, we could be seeing it this year. From all the reports I've seen, we might be seeing a big jump from Zaire this year. And so I think you got to feel good about all of these young guys, not just Gigi, but all of the young guys from David Roddy and from Jake Laravia and maybe even Junior Lofton. I mean, guy's bucket. I mean, I don't care where he's playing. Guy's bucket. He'll get buckets anywhere you put him. So, no, I'm excited. Obviously, preseason doesn't mean that much. It's just fun to watch. Next game for the Grizzlies will be in just a couple of days on Sunday. They'll play down in Miami against the Heat. And then I believe after that, just one more preseason game next Friday. So we'll basically have a whole week off from Grizzlies preseason. Next Friday, we'll get a little bit of a dress rehearsal, I suppose, in Milwaukee against the Bucks. They'll end preseason there, and then next time we see the Grizzlies, it will be in regular season action on Wednesday at home against New Orleans. So it's almost here, only about 2 weeks until the start of the regular season. I know we're both excited for it to finally get here and have some regular season NBA basketball. But let's go ahead and get to a break. And when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the weekend slate in college football. That's next on Happy Hour.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. Roofing and siding, gutters too. We're the pros you can trust to get it done right. Call on us. Five Ash Roofing, the name to know. Five Ash Roofing, the only way to go. Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. Five Ash Roofing.
Is that not the corniest thing you've ever heard? Can you believe I paid good money for that silly jingle? Well, the experts say make it memorable, and I think I got my money's worth. Five Ash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five Ash Roofing, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Want to play a private country club but only pay daily greens fees? Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis is your place. You can now play a beautiful, challenging course for only $59 plus tax, including cards. Meadowbrook Country Club features champion Bermuda greens and now is available to everyone. A membership is only $350 per month and includes tennis, pickleball, and swimming, plus a great restaurant and bar. Golf Pro Mark can even fix you up with custom-made tricks on clubs. Call 870-394-4186 today for your Tuesday through Sunday tee time at Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis.
Hey everybody, Chevy truck season, it's here. And if you're ready for a new Silverado, All-Star Chevrolet, right here in Olive Branch has deals that are spot on to save you money. And let's be real, your good credit deserves it. Financing as low as $0. No payment for 90 days. That could be next year. Plus, you get $1,000 in cash, and All-Star has all the Silverados. Fall road trips, tailgating, Thanksgiving, Christmas, timing could not be better. So come to Olive Branch and drive a new Tahoe or Traverse. And if it's a certified pre-owned Chevy or any pre-owned you want, All-Star is loaded up. Camaro convertibles, Suburbans, Lexuses. If it's not here, just ask Jeff and he will find it for you. And Jeff and Kevin told me to thank all of you who are bringing your cars and trucks here to sell. You could get a check today for some crazy good money. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah or Bartlett or Carterville. It's got to be Olive Branch, people. So find new roads to All-Star Chevy today or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Join us for the Memphis Police Department Hiring Expo Saturday, October 21st, 2023 from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 170 North Main Street downtown. We'll be taking applications and interviewing candidates on site. Salary starting at $54,611, increasing to $60,713 after probation. Benefits include a $15,000 sign-on bonus, up to $10,000 relocation assistance. For more information or details, visit joinmpd.com.
Memphis' oldest restaurant, Coletta's, was established in 1923 to give Memphians the best Italian food possible. And I'd say they got it right. They are the creators of the barbecue pizza. It was Elvis's favorite, and I know for a fact that a large will feed one person all weekend. If you need to feed several, though, Coletta's caters any event. Choose from homemade lasagna, ravioli, Alfredo, primavera, and so many other delicious items you can't help but enjoy. Impress employees or clients and treat them to Coletta's for lunch or dinner. Plan ahead and get your holiday party booked at Coletta's. Elvis's favorite place to go eat with his buddies at the South Parkway location, and Coletta's even has an Elvis room dedicated to him. Call Coletta's on South Parkway at 948-7652 or Appling Road at 383-1122. Coletta's. It was Elvis's favorite, and it should be yours too.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. This hour is brought to you by Scooters Plus on Summer Avenue. Here once again is Johnny Radio.
Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes gravity. Choke. He's so mad.
We're back into Happy Hour. Brian and Zach with you today. John will be back on Monday to recap the weekend in football, talk a lot of baseball. I know he's probably very excited watching all these games on vacation. I know he'll probably have a ton to talk about. But yesterday in baseball, we did have the Phillies advance over the Braves in a wild game last night. Zach, we were talking about that one yesterday. I talked about it with Brett. I didn't think there was any way in the world the Braves lost yesterday, and they did. And it was a great game. The Braves had runners all over the place and just couldn't get it done. And how about this? I saw this morning. Do you know where the Braves open the season next year?
In Philly?
In Philly. So you get knocked out in Philly. You got to start the season next year in Philly. But I mean, that Philly lineup is really fun to watch. They've got some really talented players. I was scared though yesterday. We know for Bryce Harper, he had Tommy John surgery. Has been having to play first base because he can't completely throw the ball right now. And I was in the 7th or 8th inning, and I forgot who it was for the Braves, but they hit a grounder. Bryce Harper runs over to cover the bag. He's standing there. The ball gets thrown. His arm's kind of hanging out over here by his side. But he's like, kind of trying to be athletic to make the play. So he kind of, your arm kind of goes out a little bit. And whoever it was on the other side runs through and hits his elbow going through. And immediately Bryce Harper is just grabbing his arm. And, you can just tell he's in so much pain. And they all come out and look at him. And, it was like 5 minutes because it was an out. And so that would have gotten, the end of the inning. It was like 5 minutes. Everyone was just standing out there just like, is Bryce Harper okay? He was able to come back into the field the next inning. So it looks like everything was all right. But a very scary situation for Bryce Harper, who's really been big for them this postseason's hit a couple big-time home runs. Also, Nick Castellanos, a guy that a lot of people like to have fun with. Obviously, the kind of running joke on social media is that whenever something bad happens, especially when it's talked about on the broadcast, when he's up to bat, he hits a home run. I'm starting to think broadcasters have caught on to that and are starting to bring up sad stories, because the other day, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, I saw it on social media that he was up to bat and that they did a story about somebody in the Phillies organization that had cancer or something and was had to have all these surgeries and do all these things, but that he was doing better. He was back kind of doing things, yada, yada, yada. I think he'd played for the Phillies a long time ago and was maybe in their front office after that. So they're talking this heartfelt story, really sad that he's having to go through all this hard stuff. And then they come back to play. Nick Castellanos is up and he hits a home run. I mean, it's just like clockwork now. I mean, it's the last time, I think, the first time it happened, I guess, was when, was it a Phillies play-by-play guy, slipped a
that's
homosexual slur or something like that.
Yeah, that was, I forgot the guy's name.
And he was apologizing. Yeah, and it was during it was a commercial break. It was a hot mic that picked it up. And he let a slur fly during the break. He thought his mic was off. It was not. So he came back and was apologizing for it, I think. And then while he's apologizing for it, Nick Castellanos hits a home run. And that's what really started it. And then after that, people have just been keeping up with bad things that happen, or bad things that are going to be talked about, or bad things that happen during the day. And so the running joke is it's horrible, but if something bad happens, people are hammer Nick Castellanos home run today. And the track record's pretty good. It's a pretty successful track record. But the Phillies will now go on and play the Diamondbacks. Who would have thought when the Braves and the Dodgers were set up to face each other that we would be getting Phillies and D-backs as our conference series, which I'm excited about. I'm excited about that. That NLCS is going to be really fun to watch. On the other side, huh?
You know what's a common thread?
What's that?
This is a name that just popped up, and I didn't know he was with the Phillies.
Who's that?
Dave Dombrowski.
I am. Mm-hmm.
Former Cub.
Yep.
Former Red Sox.
Yeah. Been around.
It seemed like if you have him in your front office,
you're
destined to go to the.
You're gonna have a pretty good team.
Yeah, you're destined for it.
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty accurate. So this is gonna be really fun. I don't know exactly if they've even set up the schedule of when we'll have the next games. I'm sure they have it. I just don't know if they've put it out. Yeah, they sure have. So it looks like Sunday we'll get our first game. Texas versus Houston. That will be at 7 o'clock Sunday night, so they'll be going right up against Sunday Night Football. Giants at Bills. No offense to the NFL. None at all. Rangers-Astros might be a little more competitive than Giants-Bills. I know it's football versus baseball. A lot of people don't care who's playing. They're just going to watch football. But Rangers-Astros might be a little more competitive. And then on Monday, we'll have Game 2 of Rangers-Astros and Game 1 of D-backs and Philly. So it should be a ton of fun. But we got to get to a break and wrap up this hour. And when we come back, Lee Sterling from Paramount Sports will join us. Lee Sterling from Paramount Sports will join us to talk about this weekend's slate in college football. Give us some picks. He's also got his game of the week. So let's get to a break. When we come back, Lee Sterling.
Dark side of the moon. The lunatic is in my head. Wow, I feel good. Shopping at Drive Max. Drive Max. Drive Max. You get value.
Need a car that screams I feel good? DriveMax has it all. From cars to SUVs, find a tightly inspected used car that'll have you dancing all the way home. Call 901-664-2424 or visit DriveMaxApproval.com.
DriveMax, I got approved.
Here we grow again. Metro Builders is accepting applications for project manager, sales, and even a couple of crew openings. Visit MetroBuildersMemphis.com today to inquire about our openings. We are an equal opportunity employer, drug-free workplace, and are growing rapidly at our Memphis office. Metro Builders is looking for team players that want to learn and grow in the construction industry. We are a roof and restoration company. If you have a huge drive, want to earn a great living, and enjoy working with an enthusiastic team, call Metro Builders today at 901-375-1717.
We interrupt this broadcast for special news and information concerning family leisure.
The world's biggest spa sale is back and bigger than ever at Family Leisure. How is that possible? Well, let me tell you. You start off with 50 different spa models to choose from 5 different manufacturers. Then you throw in up to 30% off in-stock spas and swim spas. But is that all? Oh, no. You get free upgrades on all in-stock spas, plus 24 months, same as cash. Wow! This is the kind of sale that you just can't have every day. But it's happening right now at Family Leisure, the world's biggest spa sale. Soak in the savings right now at Family Leisure, Witten Road and I-40. You know the place where family and fun come together.
Please remain calm and walk, don't run to Family Leisure. And now back to your regular programming.
There's an institution in East Memphis that I love talking about. It's the Spirit Shop at 4848 Poplar Avenue, right down the street from Clark Tower, and it looks like a log cabin. It's been around Memphis since 1969 with a family-owned, friendly, knowledgeable sales staff that is just a wonderful place to go. I love going in and talking wine or bourbons, and they've got such great selection. So if you've not visited the Spirit Shop in a while, it's been remodeled. You'll love what you see when you need spirits. Tell Eddie Wollo said hello.
Go where the season takes you, and it'll take you to huge savings at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Be packed with power in 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage G4. 37 MPG combined, $18,755 or $199 a month. Ready for adventure? 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, $25,595 or $299 a month. Plus 7 seating and top safety pick 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander SUV, $32,185 or $399 a month. And every new Gossett Mitsubishi is equipped with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You want it, we Gossett. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 84 months, 500 military rebate, loyalty, conquest rebate, 500 G4, RHFO 1918, MSRP 19255, Sport, PU 015 137, MSRP 26595, Outlander RZ 006545, MSRP 33185, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit, dealer stock only.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah. 4.9 liter V8, 0 to 60, and I'm about to find out.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back into Happy Hour. No John today. He'll be back on Monday. Bryant Dacus and Zach Boyd in for him today. Like I said, he'll be back on Monday. But joining us now from Paramount Sports, Lee Sterling. Excited to talk to Lee about this the weekend games. As you can follow him on Twitter at Paramount Sports. Lee, thanks so much for joining us. How's everything going down in Miami this week?
Good. It's actually been great for the service, but crazy as it may seem. So we've gone 8-4 in the last week. We've had 5 straight, just incredible weeks. I think we're something like, I think it's 41, 15, and 2.
Wow.
The last 5 weeks. But get this, in our 8-4 week, our 2 losses were Missouri last Saturday, the pick 6.
Yeah.
33 seconds to go, but who's counting? And last night, West Virginia, the Hail Mary.
Man.
So if not for that, you just were out one of them. I'm 9-3. If, the odds had to have been at least 95% that I should have been probably 10-2. But that's what happens. That's why they call it gambling.
That's right. That's how it goes. And Lee, I mean, that game last night, West Virginia and Houston, was just incredible. That ending. Yeah. I mean, I had turned it off. I was on West Virginia last night. I had turned it off early. I didn't think there was any way they'd come back.
A lot of people felt that way. A lot of things had to happen for them just to take the lead.
Right.
I mean, drive down, then they have to convert the 2-point conversion, and then the fourth down, 4th and 10 for touchdown.
Incredible. Well, you have been red hot, so I've been really excited all week to have you on and talk about some of these games this weekend. But here in Memphis, a big game tonight against Tulane. A lot of people really excited here. We've been talking about it all week long. So I want to start there if we can. Tulane -5 tonight against the Tigers. What do you like here in Memphis?
So both teams 4-1. They have both lost to SEC teams, Memphis to Missouri, Tulane to Ole Miss. Tulane likes to slow down the game. A lot of people don't look at pace. Pace is very important in the game, especially if you're going to play a favorite. They only average 63 plays per game. Most teams are in high 60s to low to mid 70s. So the last 4 games have actually gone under the total. I love Michael Pratt. I mean, so good in the clutch if the game comes down to one drive. The series host, though, 6-1 against the spread. Memphis 8-0 against the spread as a home dog, getting 3 or more points. Sometimes you have to just close your eyes and figure out how will this game probably end up. I think this is going to be last team with the ball wins. I think Tulane is going to pull it out. If I had to guess of the two teams, but you're getting 5 points. I think Tulane wins 30-28. Memphis covers.
I like it. No,
but I'd love to see Memphis win the game. So.
Yeah. I like you said. I mean, this really could come down to the very end of the game. I mean, you've got two offenses that have been playing really, really well, and so I know a lot of people here are excited about that game tonight. Okay, let's hop over to the SEC. It's been a lot of fun watching this conference this week, and some big games tomorrow. But one that I've been really interested in all week, LSU. It's been kind of a struggle. I know they got that win last week against Missouri, but the week before against Ole Miss, coming down again kind of to the last couple of plays, the last seconds in that fourth quarter and lost. They needed the last couple of minutes in that game against Missouri to win, but now against Auburn, they're an 11-point favorite against this Auburn team, obviously new regime, new coach, and they're trying to kind of find their way in the SEC. What do you think about this one tomorrow?
All right, so bye weeks are important. It helps the team heal up, helps them game plan. Here's the problem for Auburn. The extra week to prepare, I don't think they can exploit the LSU defense enough to where they can get into a shootout. I just don't think they have the personnel. Now, can they have a great game and play above their heads like they did in the last game against Georgia? Maybe. It's possible. At home, those things can happen. But this LSU team is really good. So you talk about offense. I saw, where do you think Jaden Daniels ends up going in the draft? Just curious. What round?
Probably second or third. I love Jalen Daniels.
Okay, so third round is where I just saw a projection.
Okay.
I think he's a first rounder. Yeah. I think this kid's
accuracy,
I think he's the most accurate passer right now in college football.
He's unreal.
I think his vision, I think his escapability and his leadership, I think he's a mid to late first rounder. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty good at picking out quarterbacks, and he's got a lot of talent around him here. I think LSU's going to win a shootout here. I just think they have too much here, and I think they're going to win this game something like 42-28. I'm going to lay the 11 points.
Wow, I like it. I know a lot of people still kind of talking about this LSU team and maybe their hopes of getting into that SEC championship game, but we talk a lot about the offense. How much do you think that defense hurts them going down the stretch in SEC play?
A lot. I think their defensive backfield's atrocious. I mean, they couldn't cover. They can't cover anyone. I mean, it's almost embarrassing. You would think that. I mean, look at the riches they've had in the defensive backfield.
Yeah.
If I'm a prospect coming out of high school or in the transfer portal to one of the 5 schools, top 5, no question, I want to play for it. I know they've had some injuries, but they should have the depth. They should be better than what they are.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean that game a couple weeks ago against Ole Miss. I was at the Tigers game during it, so I couldn't see. I get to the car, it's like 28-21. I'm going, what in the world is going on? And it ain't even halftime yet. So yeah, that was really crazy.
If they played another quarter, Ole Miss puts 90 on.
Oh yeah, easily. That game was crazy. I mean, over like 1,500 yards of total offense in that game, just absolutely ridiculous. Okay, well let's stay in the state of Tennessee after kind of talking about the Tigers earlier, and let's go over to the University of Tennessee, the Volunteers, trying to bounce back. A lot of, especially after that loss against Florida a couple weeks ago, maybe a lot of people down on the Vols. They get Texas A&M coming off of a loss last week against Alabama. Lee, I love this Texas A&M defense. I know, maybe didn't have their best efforts last week against Alabama, but this front seven is really, really talented. Right now, Tennessee, a 3-point favorite tomorrow. What do you like?
So that plays into the way I see this game. I think Tennessee, if they can run the football some, they need the run to set up the pass. Joe Milton is really good at 2nd and 2, 2nd and 4. You put him in 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10, he's just not very good.
Right.
And that's Texas A&M's defense here.
Yeah.
So what have they done? They shut down Auburn. They did an absolute number on them. The next game, what did they do? After that, Arkansas shut them down.
Yeah.
Alabama, they played well enough to win the game.
They did.
I mean, it's just their run defense is really good. They go like 9 or 10 deep. Half those guys are 5 stars. They're allowing just 84 yards per game, 2.6 yards per carry here. Only a hangover, I think, could cost A&M on Saturday here.
Wow.
I like A&M 30-26.
I love that. I love that. Like I said, I mean, nothing I love more, Lee, than on a Saturday afternoon sitting down and watching that Texas A&M defense.
The only person that can mess it up is Jimbo.
Yeah, you're right about that. And he's shown that he can be pretty good at messing things up.
Sometimes coaches, they win the title once, and they never get a sniff of it again.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to coach that team.
What have you thought, by the way, of Bobby Petrino over there with Jimbo? What have you thought about that kind of marriage through a couple weeks?
It's fine. Now, if they lose another couple games, we might see, those two guys going at it. I mean, they're both highly volatile personalities, but I think he's doing fine. I didn't think he called an especially great game against Miami, but they scored enough to win. Their defense. That was the one game the pass defense didn't play well. So as long as they have 3 or less losses, they'll be fine. They lose a couple more games, look out. Both those guys are not good losers.
No, they're not. Oh, by the way, Lee, how have things been down in Miami this week after what Mario did over the weekend?
Surprisingly, a little better than expected.
Well,
I mean, it was one of those errors as a coach you can't explain.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fatal error. It's the easiest thing to do. He did it in 2018.
Yeah.
I saw that game. I was up late at night and couldn't believe it. He should have just taken a knee, punted the ball with 15, 20 seconds to go in the game. Said he was trying to get the first down. The biggest problem I have with the whole thing, he didn't realize what he had done, I believe, until he hit the locker room. Did not realize it until well after the game was over, what had happened.
Wow.
So that to me is frustrating, and my Miami degree just went down probably 25%.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I heard somebody, maybe it was somebody we had on earlier in the week, just saying, if Georgia Tech had made those 2 plays, those 2 throws, a couple of defensive breakdowns for Miami, nobody would have been talking about that.
They still would have talked about it.
I think you're right.
But not
not as much.
Losing was what put the icing on the cake.
Definitely. Well, we're talking to Lee Sterling from Paramount Sports. He's been red hot and also the co-host of the Locked On Bets podcast on the Locked On network. Lee, let's go over to the NFL and get a couple of your thoughts there.
Okay.
Jacksonville and Indianapolis, they've already met once this year. Jacksonville, I guess, back home from their second home over in London, you could say.
Yeah.
But they are a 4-point favorite tomorrow against the Colts. The Colts will be going with Gardner Minshew as the starting quarterback as Anthony Richardson injured. But I really like Gardner Minshew and what he gives you as a backup quarterback. What do you see in this one?
I do too, and it's the first rematch of the season. The Jags beat the Colts 31-21. You talked about Gardner Minshew. Look what's going on. Zach Moss. This is a guy who's a backup.
Yeah.
NFL's third leading rusher. Now you got a healthy Jonathan Taylor with some fresh legs to work in there. Trevor Lawrence just isn't right. I know they beat Buffalo, but they had the advantage staying there for the week. 3 touchdown passes the last 4 games. And Calvin Ridley, I mean, a lot of rust, leading the NFL in drop passes. Indianapolis outright 26-20.
Wow. Yep. I love that. That should be a heck of a game on Sunday. Okay, I do want to get your thoughts on one more NFL game here in the state of Tennessee. I know we got a lot of Titans fans listening. It's the early one, another international game for the NFL out in London. Baltimore versus the Titans. Right now, Baltimore a 3-point favorite. I've heard a lot of people talking about this Baltimore team, maybe a little disappointed in what they've shown this year. What do you think about this one early on Sunday morning?
I don't love this offense here. I mean, Lamar Jackson is just not clicking. Now, they did drop 2 touchdown passes, and they also had a punt block against them. But I like the fact that they left early, left right after their game to go to London. For Tennessee, they waited until today, I believe, to leave for that game. They've got 2 key defensive linemen, Tart and Simmons, who are a game-time decision. I think Jackson's going to pick on Christian Fulton here. Baltimore's number 2 guy in the secondary. I just think that Baltimore's offense against him, I think the receivers are pretty good. I just don't like the way they look on a consistent basis, but they're one of these teams, after a loss, they play well here. So I'm going to go with Baltimore here, 27-17.
I like it. And like I said, that one's the early, so you can kind of start building your bankroll early in the morning on Saturday, or Sunday, I should say, with that play and lead you into the afternoon. All right, Lee, before we let you go, I know you always have a game of the week. What is your game of the week this week, and how can people get that?
Game of the week is going to be Alabama and Arkansas. I've got a real strong opinion on this game. You want to get it for free, just call 800-400-9741. Again, the number 800-400-9741. The game is on me, and what a run we've had. 47-22-2 this year in the college football and the NFL. I rate my games from 10 to 50 units. My first 40 to 50 unit selection in college football goes tomorrow. You want to get involved, go to ParamountSports.com. We're 62-20 lifetime on these 40 to 50 unit plays. Just 247. That's it. We don't call it October. We call it Locktober. 247 for 3 weeks of action. Just one place, ParamountSports.com.
Well, it should be a great day, and I know we talk a lot of football here. We're getting your plays for college football, NFL, but it's not just football that you're doing over at Paramount Sports. You've got it all covered. I know Jay Morgan, who's usually here, always raves about your UFC plays. NHL just starting up, so I know you've got a lot going on. So definitely
check it all out. We do it all. One-stop shop. Have not had a losing record in any sport. ParamountSports.com.
Well, Lee, thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy your weekend. John will be back next week, and I'm really excited to have you back on next Friday.
Thanks so much. Take care. Have a great weekend. Be safe.
Thanks, Lee. That's Lee Sterling from Paramount Sports. And like he said, that free play, I know a lot of people in our listening area, big SEC fans, and love watching Arkansas, love watching Alabama. So call right now, 800-400-9741 to get that play. It's on him. And with Alabama being a 19.5-point favorite, it's a big number. I'm curious what his play is. I'm gonna have to call on the break and get that play to get my Saturday going. But his plays that we got from him, he likes Memphis tonight, +5. He says he thinks whoever has the ball last wins. Now that might mean Tulane. He says he thinks Tulane wins, but he only has them winning by 2, so that's cover. How do you feel about? I have some friends that, especially in games like this, they will go and they'll be cheering for the Tigers, but they may bet on Tulane to win the game. How do you feel about that? Or maybe not win the game, but in a spot like this, I've had friends in the past that will bet. Usually it's in basketball that I've experienced this, but I'll have friends that will bet like Memphis +5 tonight.
Yeah.
And Tulane wins the game, but like by 3 points, and they're celebrating because they got a cover. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I'm indifferent, man.
Yeah, I don't
see,
like
I'm
it.
not a betting man, so I don't understand the highs and the lows of what everybody goes through. I just want to win. So
I feel that. So do the bettors.
Yeah.
I mean, they just want to win too.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I've seen on Twitter about from everyone who has participated in betting that it works out well for them. They've been making like a nice little killing on the apps.
Well, you gotta be careful when you're looking on people who are flaunting their winnings on social media, because a lot of times they are not as truthful as they probably should be on their winnings and losings. They always want to talk about their winnings. They never want to talk about the losing.
So what you're saying is they Photoshop their winnings?
Maybe. I don't want to say anything, but maybe some do. I'm sure. But my favorite thing, nothing better than like those early season games. I know we've got one coming up for the Tigers, so I'll use that as an example. Like Memphis versus Jackson State. That's the first game for the Tigers this year at FedEx Forum. I used to, when I was covering the Tigers for the various outlets I've worked for in the past, I would be sitting right there at the scores table, and there every time Memphis is playing one of these opponents that Memphis is better than, and you know they're going to win by a good amount of points, there's always a group of people behind me. And they always seem to like work their way down as the game is ending. They'll always, I never know where they start, because early in the game I never notice them, but once we get to like the close, like the 5 minutes in the second half, I see them like kind of like midway in that like lower bowl, and then like 3 minutes they're like a couple rows forward, and they're a couple rows forward, and they're just screaming, "Come on, score, score!" You got Connor Glennon's in, and they're like, "Give it to Connor, score, score!" And then like 30 seconds left, Jackson State will like get a layup, and they just start going ballistic. I go, yep, they had the over. Over hit right there. I don't know what it was, but the over just hit. You can always tell, and I know college basketball is back at that point. It just makes me feel good. It makes me feel good.
Same with Iowa football, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, I love Iowa football. In the NFL, I learned Alan Bell, who joins me and Brett in the afternoon, he'll join us today at 3:30. I don't know if it's new. I haven't seen him in the past do this, but he's been very high on punting props in the NFL. You can bet, stick with me here, Zach. You can bet on the total amount of punts in a game. So there'll be like an over-under, like 8.5, right? So you can go over. There's going to be over 8.5 total punts in the game. So now you're cheering for defense. You're wanting punts. It's electric. And I've said in the past, ever since I've known about this, which has only been a couple of weeks that I've known about this, I wish we had punting props in college football, because you better believe Iowa football, I would be going the over in a lot of punting props for Iowa football.
Unless they throw the number up a little higher than
they probably would throw the number up a little higher.
But then again, that number's probably not high enough.
No, you're probably right. You're probably right. Well, Lee's plays today. He likes Memphis +5, LSU -11, Texas A&M +3. In the NFL side, he likes the Colts +4, and then he also likes Baltimore -3 Sunday morning in London against the Tennessee Titans. And his game of the week, Alabama 19.5 versus Arkansas. That's not his pick. That's not his pick, but that's just what the line is. You can call to get his pick, 800-400-9741, and get his best play, or his game of the week, his best play of the weekend in college football. So definitely give him a call and get that. It's on him. It's free play, and you can at least hopefully guarantee one win for your Saturday. Saturdays can be brutal, Zach. College football can be brutal to you.
I can imagine.
So
especially for the fans that are sitting in the stands waiting for the game to get covered.
So I'm not confident in anything more than Lee's game of the week. He talked about what they've been doing with these games of the week. So give him a call, get that play. But let's go ahead and get to a little bit of an early break here. But let's get to a break. When we come back, I'm guessing T-Money and Brasky will be with us. We'll get some more plays from them, see what they're up to this week. That's next on Happy Hour.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
All 36-month lease, $650 acquisition fee, Forte PE 678-6055, MSRP 21,610, Nero P5017859, MSRP 41,090, EV6 P5017859, MSRP 49,687. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/31/23 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Hey, Jeff Allen, the weather's getting cooler, but the deals keep on getting hotter at Gossett Kia South. What you got going on, Jeff?
Only the best deals you'll find on your new Kia, Randy. I've got 41 MPG highway in a new 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $229 a month, $29.99 do-it signing. I've got EV action with a 2023 Nero EV Win SUV, 253 miles of EPA estimated range, $269 a month, $49.99 do-it signing. And a 2023 Kia EV6 Win, 134 city, 101 highway MPGE, $399 a month, $49.99 do-it signing. All 36-month lease.
Plus a free charger with your EV purchase and Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Here we grow again. Metro Builders is accepting applications for project manager, sales, and even a couple of crew openings. Visit MetroBuildersMemphis.com today to inquire about our openings. We are an equal opportunity employer, drug-free workplace, and are growing rapidly at our Memphis office. Metro Builders is looking for team players that want to learn and grow in the construction industry. We're a roof and restoration company. If you have a huge drive, want to earn a great living, and enjoy working with an enthusiastic team, call Metro Builders today at 901-375-1717.
We interrupt this broadcast for special news and information concerning family leisure.
The world's biggest spa sale is back and bigger than ever at Family Leisure. How is that possible? Well, let me tell you. You start off with 50 different spa models to choose from 5 different manufacturers. Then you throw in up to 30% off in-stock spas and swim spas. But is that all? Oh, no. You get free upgrades on all in-stock spas, plus 24 months, same as cash. Wow! This is the kind of sale that you just can't have every day. But it's happening right now at Family Leisure, the world's biggest spa sale. Soak in the savings right now at Family Leisure, Witten Road and I-40. You know the place where family and fun come together.
Please remain calm and walk. Don't run to Family Leisure. And now back to your regular programming.
We say all the time that above all else, Bell Tavern is Memphis's best little downtown bar. And we mean that. The food and service and atmosphere at Bell Tavern are all designed to make you feel at home. But above all else, you should know you're in a bar. And sometimes when you're in a bar, you might want something a little more special than the ice-cold beer that Bell Tavern offers. That's why there's the signature cocktails and the flights of spirits. Bourbon flights, whiskey flights, single malt scotch flights, agave flights, and even Japanese whiskey flights. All available at Bell Tavern, the bar that outbars all the other bars.
Go where the season takes you, and it'll take you to huge savings at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Be packed with power in 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage G4. 37 MPG combined, $18,755 or $199 a month. Ready for adventure? 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, $25,595 or $299 a month. Plus 7 seating and top safety pick 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander SUV, $32,185 or $399 a month. And every new Gossett Mitsubishi is equipped with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You want it, we Gossett. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 84 months, 500 military rebate, loyalty, conquest rebate, 500, G4, RHFO 1918, MSRP 19255, Sport, PU 015-137, MSRP 26595, Outlander RZ 006545, MSRP 33185, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
I'm with John Burgos from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, we have catered parties all over this country and all over the world, from Singapore, Australia to Central Park in New York, but many people don't realize how much we do locally. For holiday events, office parties, tailgating, birthday parties, you can't do better than the Rendezvous. For example, you can get a cheese and sausage tray for 15 to 300 people for $3.75 a person. You can even build your own nacho bar for $10.50 per person. All you need is a minimum of 15 people. In many cases, we can arrange delivery and full-service catering. We've even made it easy to get to-go items. You can just park at our front door in the alley, put on your flashes, and we'll get you going ASAP. For all your catering items and prices, go to hogsfly.com, click on menu, and drop down to catering.
Thank you, John. The Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 120 years. You know, I'm talking about Dinstall's, and it's time to stock up heavy on Cashew Crunch, Heavenly Crunch, Turtlettes, all of your favorite Dinstall's treats to watch the playoff games and to watch all the basketball. It's so easy to get. The sweetest thing in Memphis, all you have to do is head to Laurelwood or head to Germantown and Poplar right across from the hospital, or go where they make the candies. That's on Pleasant View. There's nothing that says Memphis better than Cashew Crunch with that little tinge of coconut, or the Turtlettes. Let's face it, there's nothing better than Dinstall's chocolate. That's the mainstay of all candies, isn't it? Milk chocolate, although their dark chocolate is pretty darn good. And if you get the peppermint with the dark chocolate and put it in the freezer, you're going to love it. So many ways to love Dinstall's. 115 years of making Memphis oh so sweet.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back into Happy Hour. No John Harden today. He'll be back on Monday. Brian Dacus, Zach Boyd, in for him today. Johnny Radio will be back on Monday, and we'll get a little bit sense of normal around here, as the last couple weeks have been. A lot of guys gone, but it seems like everybody will be back on Monday with John's return. But T-Money and Uncle Brasky about to join us to talk some games as, Zach, I know for you especially, the weekend's almost here. I mean, what are we, about 30 minutes from the weekend for you? I know you can't wait. I still have a couple more hours to put in the books, which is okay, but the weekend will be quickly approaching for me here in a couple hours. So, I mean, we're here. We've made it. And no better way to start a weekend than with T-Money and Uncle Brassy. Let's get T-Money in here first. T-Money, how you doing today?
Hey, Brian, what's going on, man? You're doing a great job filling in for Johnny.
Well, thank you, T-Money. That means a lot. And I'm doing all right. We're almost to the weekend, but our Tigers play tonight. I don't want to play just yet from you, T-Money, but what do you think about the Tigers' chances tonight?
Well, first off, they're going to be wrestling at about 4 o'clock. They got
what a great point by you, T-Money. Oh, how could I forget?
Exactly. So if you're going to be down there in Tiger Lane tailgate, they're going to put on a master class on how to wrestle Mid-South Coliseum style right out there in the middle of Tiger Lane. And some of my buddies are going to be down there. A lot of them going to be down there, a bunch of Tiger fans. It's going to be a great time. I don't know if the King's going to get in the ring. Last time they did this, the King got in the ring and he got to wrestling a little bit, and he took the strap down and the place went nuts. But we love old Jerry the King, and I think he's bringing the Tigers out tonight. I'm glad to see he's healthy. You know, he's had some health scares. You know, but we're just glad that the King, Jerry Lawler, is going to bring the Tigers out tonight. We're wrestling, baby.
We're wrestling. It should be a fun night. I wonder who will get in there. I saw, they do the wrestling at pretty much every teams, at least once a year at all of Grizzlies, Tigers, Redbirds. I was at a Redbirds game. This was probably a couple years ago now, and I had no idea it was wrestling night, and the King was there, and you're right. The first time I'd ever been in person, seeing him drop the strap, and you're right, nothing gets people going like when the King drops the strap. Everybody lost their mind. It was like 11 o'clock at night after the Redbirds game. I didn't know what was going on. Me and my brother were there. It was electric. So you're absolutely right. It should be a lot of fun tonight. Let's go ahead and get Brasky in here too. Uncle Brasky, how you doing?
Doing great, man. Down here in Oxford, just living the dream.
You got an off week this week for the Rebels. Much needed off week, or do you want some more football?
I think we needed an off week. Our tight end's dad died. He had to go back to Michigan or something. So I think it'd come at a perfect time, because then we pick up Auburn next week.
Yeah, and that's Caden Prescorn that used to play here at Memphis. So yeah, I was real sad when I saw that earlier this week.
Yeah, that's the boy that they beat us out of in the NIL.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
it happens.
We couldn't afford that young man, but Oxford could.
Well, it happens. That's the day and age of college football.
You got to get your money right. I mean, you get what you pay for.
That's right.
What do y'all call you? Don't y'all got an NL? What's the NLIL thing y'all call it down there, Uncle Brasky?
It's called the Grove Collective.
That's right.
That's right, the Grove Collective. I seen somebody promoting that on the Twitter earlier. The Grove Collective.
That's right.
So I looked up. I looked to see if Memphis had one. We got one.
Right?
Sure do.
Yeah, we got the Bluff City. What do they call
What
it?
are y'all
We're
gonna have?
wrestling.
Jerry Lawler, is he going to slap his girlfriend around like he did not too long ago?
Hopefully
Did he get canceled?
Don't you be talking about the king like that, man.
Well, I mean, hell, I didn't even. You talk about him taking the strap down. I mean, hell, that's an old man. He probably have a booth fall out or something.
Good point there,
man. That's his wrestling move, man. That's his wrestling move. That finishing move. You know how they.
I know. I used to go down there as a kid until I figured out it was fake. I was over there one time at Chickasaw Bowling Alley on Summer, and I watched. I was a kid then, and I used to watch that stuff, believe it was real, and he was beating up pile driving Andy Kaufman and gave him neck cancer from all the pile drivers. And one day I saw Tommy Rich come in there, and I'm like, oh man. Next thing I see Jerry Lawler come in and Tojo Yamamoto, and they all went back to the bar back there, and they just been fighting the day before. I went and spent my $7 or whatever to go watch it. I guess I was probably 15, and I walked down there, and they're all in there just talking and being nice to one another and drinking beer, and I thought, figured out it was fake then, man. It ruined my childhood.
I believe it.
Well, that's why we always watch that 30 for 30 Ric Flair when we're down there at Woodland Lake. You get real liquored up and you watch the Ric Flair and like to listen to him talk his stuff with Dusty Rhodes. Hard times on Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair.
That's right.
T-Money is
all that wrestling started in Memphis anyway.
That's right. T-Money,
that's where the big start got.
T-Money, is it a requirement to be liquored up in order to watch the Ric Flair 30 for 30, or is that just a recommendation on your part?
It's a recommendation. If you've seen it a couple times, you want to. It's funnier and funnier the more you watch it.
Good point.
I mean, because he was talking his stuff, and so you get how you want. And football's over, and you just throw that on and get to laughing at it. Usually we're eating prime rib or some steaks and down there at Woodland Lake, but. Uncle Brasky, tell us about your the last time you ate down there at Woodland Lake. What happened?
Man, it was Big Tony's turn to cook. Most times we have prime rib or whatever. He brought some bread and cheese and made grilled cheese sandwiches.
I love a good grilled cheese.
I swear to you, he made grilled cheese. I mean, there wasn't even any soup with it. You get a bunch of drunk, hungry, fat freaks. They're wanting to get their grub on, and here you got a grilled cheese.
Grilled cheese doesn't do it, no.
All the cheese.
We're used to prime rib. We're used to ribeye, steak, and this and that. 4 or 5 side items. Ice Tea comes down bringing some bread and Kraft singles down there.
I'm talking about grilled cheese.
Talking about some
bread wasn't in Texas coast. It wasn't going to feel good, man. It's like
right, Ice Tea. But we got to love Ice Tea. Ice Tea. He's famous here in town. He's a local celebrity. Maybe a little washed, maybe not. But Ice T's my man. I love him.
I like it. Brasky, with no game this week, you staying out of trouble?
I'm staying out of trouble. I'm going to head down here to the men's Mensa Club meeting here about 3 o'clock. That'll take place.
Okay.
It's a back room there at the library. All the geniuses in town.
What's that, Uncle Brasky?
Yeah,
what club is that?
What is that?
Mensa Club.
You probably never heard of the Mensa Society. It's where really high IQ people are in. So all of our local men, you need to find out what's going on in town. You just go to Oxford Men's Mensa Club meeting every Friday.
And you're part of this club, Uncle. And you're part of this club with high IQ.
Were you grandfathered in or something?
I think everybody got grandfathered in. All you got to do, is go down there and get on the Coors Light, the Fireball, and you're fine. You're right in there with them.
You got more community service hours than you do credits down there at Ole Miss.
I'm going to tell you what. I ate better at the penal farm than I did when Big Tony come down the lake. I promise you that.
You only got a grilled cheese sandwich.
That's bad when you're better at
Good
Lord have mercy.
Good Lord. All right, guys. Big weekend coming up. What do we like this weekend? What kind of plays we like?
Well, Brian, I like a couple plays, and just remember, I don't know your bankroll any more than you know mine. And with that being said, how can you not love the Memphis Tigers catching 5 points at home tonight in Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium? Every time T-Money has taken the Tigers this year, I'm 3-0 when I take the Tigers, okay?
All right.
The Tigers are, I'm telling you, we are playing better football than most people thought we were. We're at home Friday night. We got wrestling in the Tiger Lane. We're going to have about 35,000. It's a beautiful night. Don't you laugh at us, Uncle Brasky. We're going to be on national television.
That's right.
ESPN, and we are we're going to outright win this game. But go ahead and get on that 5 points. Make yourself feel good about yourself.
I like it. Memphis +5 tonight. Anything else you like, T-Money, this weekend?
Well, I was looking at the against the spread, the teams that, their record against the spread, and one team jumped out to me, and that was the Vanderbilt Commodores.
Ooh, anchor down.
Spread. They have not covered a game all year long.
Wow.
And they get Georgia this weekend, the champions. 31.5. Go ahead and get down on the Bulldogs. This is about to be a rout. They're going to you'll be covering by halftime. It'll probably be 35-0 at the half.
Yeah, probably right.
And they may shut her down. That's the only thing that scares me about getting up real early is these teams, they shut her down and they start playing their third and second stringers. And, then they start putting in them freshmen that only get, they get 4 games and then they redshirt them. They start putting them in and say, well, this is your game. This is one of your 4 because we're playing Vanderbilt. As successful as Nashville is, man, it is a sad program up there.
Sure is.
And I mean, all the money they got and the resources and the eyes that could be put on them. I know they're trying to build a little stadium over there, but that's still, they're building some new raggedy stuff. You know what new raggedy is?
I do not.
Man, that's when it's raggedy and new. Yeah. I mean, you know what I mean? I feel bad for Vanderbilt. So raggedy. But, they're a raggedy club. And Georgia's about to just work them out. I think that quarterback, what's that boy's name down there, that quarterback, Brett Beck?
Carson Beck for Georgia.
I think he's coming in his own.
Yeah, he's starting to figure it out.
I said, and that Bowers boy, he ain't nothing to play with. So I like them. I like Georgia minus 31.5. And I love the Memphis Tigers. Memphis +5, man.
I like it. All right, Uncle Brasky, what do you got this weekend?
First of all, I'm from the north side of Memphis, that Golden Triangle, Raleigh, Bartlett, and Fraser, and it's embarrassing to have wrestling at a football game. I mean, that is just embarrassing to try to get people to the stadium. You got to have wrestling.
A little wrestling action.
No, we're gonna start out this week. I love Indiana catching 33.5 against Michigan. I'm telling you. You're talking about a 4 or 5 score game there. Indiana's not that god awful, I don't think.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. They've got an ex Ole Miss guy up there at quarterback.
Correct.
I think they could hang with them. All they've got to do is score 2 touchdowns here to cover this. That's all they need. Indiana
if you can't start at Ole Miss, you suck. If you can't start at Ole Miss, you suck.
Wow.
Well, he couldn't, but he's playing in the Big Ten.
Sure is.
Our next play that I like Arkansas catching 20.5 against Alabama.
It's a big number.
That's a lot of. Alabama is not this ain't the Alabama from a couple of years ago. They're running the ball. They're slowing it down. Arkansas's got a decent defense. I saw that firsthand last week here at Vaught Hemingway Stadium. They can play some defense, but they get their quarterback killed. That man, he gets hit every which way but loose. But anyway, I think they can cover the 20.5. And then we got our nickel play of the week. We love Texas A&M +3 going to Tennessee.
I like that. I like that a lot. I love this A&M defense.
A&M's got a great defense.
Yeah.
I don't think Tennessee. I like A&M getting points going up there. I think they may beat them outright.
Yeah, no, I like
and
that.
And then for the Diamondback play of the week, I like Kansas -3 going to Oklahoma State. This may be the year that they fire Mr. Mullet, the head coach there at Oklahoma State. This is probably his last season.
Yeah.
They're not very good.
No,
that's the Diamondback play of the week. I think Kansas gets in there and takes care of business.
I like it. All right, let me make sure I got all this right. T-Money, you like Memphis tonight +5, Georgia -31.5. Brasky, you like Indiana +33.5, Arkansas +20.5. The nickel play this week, A&M +3, the dime bag, Kansas -3. That looks like some good plays this weekend, fellas.
I love it. It's going to be a great weekend. We're going to come out strong this weekend.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, we are. We're going to have a good weekend. Well, fellas, y'all enjoy y'all's weekend. John will be back next week. I know we're all excited to have him back next week, but thank y'all so much for joining. We'll talk to y'all again next week.
All right, man.
Right, y'all
doing
get
a
out
great
there
job.
early for wrestling. Get there early for the wrestling.
Got to get there early. Got to get there early for the wrestling. Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good weekend. As T-Money and Uncle Brasky, they join every single Friday with John, nice enough to join us today and giving some good plays this weekend. So all of our plays today, let me just go through all of them in case you're just now getting here or in case you missed one. Let me tell you what we got today. So Lee Sterling joined us earlier. He likes Memphis +5. So that's 2 on Memphis +5 today. That's Lee on Memphis +5. That's also T-Money on Memphis +5. But Lee likes Memphis +5, LSU -11, Texas A&M +3. Uncle Brasky also likes Texas A&M +3. In the NFL side, he likes the Colts +4. He likes Baltimore -3 over the Titans. He also has a game of the week, Alabama versus Arkansas. You can call 800-400-9741 to get that play on Alabama versus Arkansas. T-Money likes Memphis +5 and Georgia -31.5 against Vanderbilt, anchor down. And then Brasky likes Indiana +33.5, Arkansas +20.5. His nickel play for the weekend, A&M +3, and the dime bag special, Kansas -3. I love that play, Kansas -3. Jalen Daniels is coming back for them today. He has been out for a couple of weeks now for Kansas, starting quarterback. He's going to be back tonight. That offense is 10 times better when he is on the field than without him. Oklahoma State has really struggled this year, so I really like Kansas, and I love the dime bag special this week from Uncle Brasky. Well, we're almost done for today's show, but let's get to a break, and when we come back, we'll wrap up today's show and this week of Happy Hour.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's football time in Memphis, and if you or someone you know is thinking of selling their home, it sure better be home selling time in Memphis. And just like you may have a favorite team, favorite coach, or favorite players, you may not have a favorite real estate agent. If you don't, think about drafting me, Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors. I always tell people they need to talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers to find out who will be the best quarterback of their home selling team. Have you heard people say that when you want the job done, call Sheldon? Find out why my award-winning, highly successful strategic marketing program with the Shellbucks option can mean the difference in whether you sit or sell. Also find out how to take advantage of our worldwide relocation network. Call or email me at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. That's Sheldon Rosengarten at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. Do it now, and go Tigers.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work denim by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of Ariat jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by Ariat just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier's the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
It doesn't matter if you're at the lake, if you're hunting, fishing, playing golf, or just playing around, Scooters Plus can hook you up with the mobility that you need. Scooters Plus has the largest vehicle and parts inventory in the Mid-South and the best service department. You can choose from ATVs, UTVs, golf carts, motorcycles, dirt bikes, trikes, scooters, and even electric bikes. Come in today to start or wrap up your holiday shopping with 25% down on Christmas layaways. Scooters Plus, 3425 Summer Avenue. Call Sam at 458-8843 or go online to scootersplus.us.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? Everything! A tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels, gold, silver, and much more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts to help you with wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar.
I'm with John Virgos from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, I want to talk about our seasoning and sauce today. Our sauce is a great blend of sweet, mustard, and vinegar. It's good on so many items other than barbecue. It's good on pizza. People use it in lieu of ketchup. But our seasoning is the original dry rub, created by my father using a mixture of Greek and Cajun spices. People think our sauce and seasoning are good just during the grilling season. Nothing could be further from the truth. It's good year-round. Our seasoning is good on fish, chicken, deviled eggs, corn on the cob, French fries. People even put a dash in a Bloody Mary. To get a complete list of all of our recipes using our products, go to hogsfly.com, click recipes, and you'll see 50 wonderful items and dishes. And Brett, our sauce and seasoning is available at most grocery stores, and if they don't have it, please remind your grocer to stock it. And our slaw is also available at most Kroger stores.
Thank you, John. The Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Virgos' Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year.
Go where the season takes you, and it'll take you to huge savings at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Be packed with power in 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage G4. 37 MPG combined, $18,755 or $199 a month. Ready for adventure? 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, $25,595 or $299 a month. Plus 7 seating and top safety pick 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander SUV, $32,185 or $399 a month. And every new Gossett Mitsubishi is equipped with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You want it, we Gossett. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or 24/7 at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 84 months, 500 military rebate, loyalty, conquest rebate, 500 G4, RHFO 1918, MSRP 19255, Sport, PU 015-137, MSRP 26595, Outlander RZ 006545, MSRP 33185, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit, dealer stock only.
But you gotta be willing to take the hit and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back into Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. No Johnny Radio today. He'll be back on Monday. Bryant Dacus and Zach Boyd have been with you today, and then we're going to wrap up today's show over this next couple of minutes. A lot of guests today. Lee Sterling joined us at the top of this hour. T-Money and Brasky were just with us, giving us a bunch of plays for the weekend, and kind of looking at this college football slate this weekend. It really, I think, starts with a bang tonight. Obviously, Tulane and Memphis on ESPN at 6 o'clock starting the night. Then at 7 o'clock on CBS Sports Network, you've got Fresno State at Utah State. Fresno State took their first loss of the year last week against Wyoming, so they'll try to kind of get back to where they want to be on the road against Utah State. And then 9 o'clock, We got the Colorado Buffalo on ESPN. Dion and his team hosting Stanford, 1-4 Stanford. Colorado, a 12.5-point favorite tonight. I also saw, I believe, Travis Hunter is expected to play tonight. I know I saw a report saying that they were going to kind of let him go out. They were going to monitor him today. They were going to kind of let him go out and warm up and see what he felt like. But that all signs were pointing to a return tonight, which is awesome to see for Travis after not only just that hit, but kind of him having to go to the hospital and then hearing kind of how bad that hit was for him.
Yeah, it's great to have him back on the field again, man. Like, because that hit was kind of brutal.
Yeah, it was
unexpected, but I'm glad that he's going to finally get some game action after a couple weeks.
And shout out to Travis Hunter also, because he has kind of being a top rated player, he's kind of used that, especially in this day and age of NIL, to kind of give himself a platform on Twitch, YouTube, and stuff like that. And he made a video. He met up with the player from Colorado State, and they went bowling and I think raised money for charity, and just kind of like he wanted to put it out there like there's no bad blood. He should not be getting death threats because of a hit that he made in a football game. So I thought it was really big of Travis Hunter, because he could have very easily gone the other way. Like, dude, you just, because of a hit that was unavoidable or could have been avoided, I'm now out for 3 weeks at least, and you kind of ruined my season. And so I was glad to see him kind of take the high road. I don't know if I'd be that strong in that position, so I thought that was really cool. Looking at some of the games on Saturday, some of the bigger games, this 11 o'clock slate, you got really. I mean, not really. You have all top 4 teams playing. Now, I think they should all, be blowout games. Georgia against Vanderbilt, Michigan hosting Indiana, Ohio State on the road at Purdue, and then Florida State hosting Syracuse. Texas A&M, Tennessee, we've talked a lot about that today. Game day will be in Seattle tomorrow for Oregon versus Washington. Later in the evening, Auburn, LSU, the big game, 10th ranked USC versus 21st ranked Notre Dame, Miami, North Carolina, UCLA, Oregon State at 7 o'clock on Fox. So it should be a really, really fun day in college football. And then on Sunday, I think we got a really good day, good slate of games on Sunday. Ravens-Titans starts the morning at 8:30 on NFL Network. You've got Vikings-Bears. I know 2 1-4 teams going up against each other, but I do think that's an intriguing matchup for both the Bears and the Vikings. You've got Panthers-Dolphins. I know a lot of people interested to see what the Dolphins can do against a really bad Panthers team. Colts, Jaguars, Saints, Texans, Eagles, Jets, and then that Sunday night game, Giants, Bills. We'll also have game 1 of the ALCS Sunday night. So it really should be a fun weekend, kind of back to what I've been saying all week. You've also got preseason NBA games going, NHL if that's what you're into, also going right now. So really a lot to watch this weekend. It should be a really, really fun weekend. Zach, thanks so much for helping out this week. You have helped a lot. It's been really fun being able to do a couple of shows with you, because we don't really get to see each other much during the week. You're here in the mornings. I'm usually here in the afternoons. So it's been a lot of fun. I do want to thank Lee Sterling. I also want to thank T-Money and Uncle Brasky for joining us today. But that's all the time we have today. Enjoy your weekend, and John will be back on Monday.